Hey man, it's your boy Mr. V. So I'm driving and I've just been watching something, it's sad, man. It's sad what we do to the world, really. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Number one, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is showing EFF flames, showing my party flames, and I'm not even mad about it, Shema. I don't want to lie to you. I'm not mad about what he is doing. He's basically coming on hard. Just this week has just been Mbuyiseni Ndlozi week. And I can tell you now without shadow of doubt that the leadership regrets its position where Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is concerned. They may not say much, but they definitely regret the position that they placed themselves in. If there's a way of them sitting down and talking about it and forgiving each other, even if we don't get to know what the issues were, which we know now what the issues were, but they can just say that they sorted it out indoors or whatever the case. It probably will do a little bit of just for the EFF, because right now, yeah, man, they are seeing flames. We are shown flames hard. But another thing I wanted to talk about is this Donald Trump, the kill the boer, kill the farmer thing that's going around. Because obviously it stems from AfriForum that went to the States and framed the whole thing as though that there is white genocide and stuff. Perhaps, maybe let me start here. South Africa is a very much crime-infested country. There's a lot of crime in this country, man. There's a lot of crime. And the crime that's here attacks any and everyone. In fact, it attacks more black people than whites, because the privilege is still largely in the white hands. Now, white people that I'm seeing on social media, South African YouTubers or of white descent, even those who have had stings in South Africa, I see the disingenuity, if there's a word like that. But they're so disingenuous, it's not funny. I'm driving in what you would classify as a suburbia, right? I do go to the township every now and then. I live amongst white, amongst blacks, amongst all these different races. But historically it's known that it's a white area, so to speak. Now my problem is that when we are doing it for show, we do it so much for show that we forget the reality that we live with daily. I think there are people who are so used to instigating issues and fights and all these things so much, right? So much so that they forget that they will still need to sleep in the same country. Even if there are sanctions, they are not gonna leave. Like this thing that the United States has done now, of giving Afrikaners or white people of African descent, if you wanna call it that way. I don't even know if that's right to do or to call. Of giving them this refugee status of some sort. I don't think that they will take it. They will not take it, because in South Africa, white people are in heaven. They are living like kings and queens, and it will be like that for a long while the majority are starving. Every single one of them who speak on the socials, every single white person who speaks, including the owner of X, they probably have never been to a township. If they have, it was under some security guard. We have to go there willy-nilly, anyhow, anytime, without any protection of any sort. We have to live with the fact that if I'm going to the township where my people are, my black people are, I am likely to get mugged, to get robbed, to get my car hijacked. I sleep in the township knowing very well that I might not wake up tomorrow, all because of crime. But let me tell you, the crime that was created by apartheid. Yes, a lot of people will say, yeah, the corruption that has been happening for the past 30 years, you say nothing about. It did not derive from there. It's a continuation, and it still has white form in it, because there are white people who own private companies, and they go and corrupt these guys who are in government. So as long as you are talking with disingenuity, I don't know if the disingenuousness, if you like, you are bound to carry on the legacy that will still carry on, my brothers and my sisters. And yes, you who is white, who is thinking that you are trying to be better, you are trying to be macho, you are trying to be all these things and nice, whatever, those are things that you still need to deal with. At the end of the day, you will still need to deal with what we have, which is crime, which is sanctions, all of these things. Here's the thing, right? Sanctions do not affect poor people, because poor people are poor anyway. Yes, you may frame it and say, no, we give this what do you call it, the aid for HIV and all that stuff, which is, as my understanding, it's only about 17% that US contributes, 17% maybe, but it's less than 20% that they contribute towards the ARVs that are given out. But let me tell you that black people, they're poor anyway. They're not gonna suddenly get rich. But people who are threatened, whose wealth is likely to go away, whose majority of South Africa's land is likely to be taken away, should there be an implementation of expropriation of land without compensation, it's white people. So they're fighting for dear life, but their fight is in vain, because they are not fighting a good fight. You are lucky that you still have leaders, black leaders, who are perhaps in between you as a white person and the real genocide. They go into parliament, they discuss, they negotiate, they go to the townships, they calm the people down. Imagine how much of a chaotic world this would be if there was no leaders such as your Cyril Ramaphosa, whom I don't particularly like. And when I say like, I'm not talking about as a person, I'm talking his politics. You know, imagine if you did not have people such as your Julius Malema, whom of late me and him have been having an issue. And when I say me and him, I just mean him as my political leader, or the one that I've chosen to give my vote to. I'm not a member of the EFF, but I vote EFF. Now, I'm saying to you, imagine if there were no leaders who are calming the storm down. For those people who have never been to South Africa, there's a place, right, called Alexandra. Alexandra is a township. It's all shacks. It's like if you go to Brazil, it's like favelas. In fact, it's worse than favelas because it's a shack next to one another. In one stand, one address, you can find about 10, maybe even 15 shacks. So it's 15 families in one yard. And then right across the street, so they divided Sentin, Alex. Alex is this side, Sentin is this side. They all are divided by a street. If you go to the other side, people are living in large acres of land. One family of 3, 4. But this side, it's 15 families in one yard. We're talking maybe 40 to 50 square meters of a yard. So tell me that those people, if they were not led by the politicians who are leading them now, something good would come out of that. They are struggling now. They're probably planning what they're gonna eat, and not because they've got so much of choices of what to eat. No, because there's so much of lack of what to eat that they have to try and figure out what they can eat. But on the other side of the road, though, it's a cruise, it's a breeze, they're living life. Anyway, I just wanted to say that there's no such a thing as white genocide, but because they're disingenuous, they will carry on to say that there is white genocide and all that nonsense, which is not there. And we all know there's nothing like that. But I say, peace.